What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to show you this clip. This is Harry Enten. He's going to be talking about the younger demographic, so younger voters, and how they voted for President Trump in 2024 and what we're seeing now when it comes to the polling that's coming out with young voters. So I want to take a look at this because this has impacts for the midterm election. Now, a midterm election usually is going to be a lower voter turnout than a presidential election. But if you have some of these voters, these young voters that are either not going to show up, or if they do show up, they're going to vote for a Democrat instead of voting for a Republican, that could have huge ramifications in this midterm election. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so here's Harry Enten. We're going to take a look at this and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Here we go.
He actually won them. He won men under the age of 30 by a point. Look at his net approval rating now, though, with them. Oh, my goodness gracious. He is.
I was literally about to ask you if that was a typo.
No, that is not a typo. Me and my crack crew spend many hours on those slides, and we can tell you that is not a typo. That is a 56-point move against the President of the United States among young men who helped put him over the top of the election, and now he is very much struggling with them. Maybe that's part of the reason why he wants to put an event like this to try and connect with some of them.
But there are people with reservations about kind of how this whole thing is set up. Like Joe Rogan is openly criticizing having this fight at the White House, which is, according to Sports Business Journal, UFC, is also paying $700,000 to repair the grass that will be damaged by this.
So what will happen with those young voters? That is the question. And so we'll have to see what happens in the midterm election. But if we're seeing this, these indicators here, President Trump was +1 in 2024, now -50. Was it -55? So we're looking at a situation where young voters they've changed their mind. They've soured to President Trump. And as I've stated in a lot of my videos, when it comes to this midterm election, this is going to be a referendum on the president, which means that if they've soured to President Trump, then they're less likely to vote for a Republican in the midterm election. Now, when it comes to young voters, are they going to vote? Are they going to show up? And if they don't show up, what is that going to mean? Will that benefit Democrats? Will that benefit Republicans? If they are young voters that voted for President Trump, it's going to benefit Democrats if they don't show up, because they're not going to be out there voting for some of these Republicans running for re-election or running on the Republican ticket. And so when we start looking at some of these races that we think are going to be very close, when we look at this on the Senate side, look at in Texas, Tallarico versus Paxton. If you have these 30 and unders either not participating or voting for Tallarico instead of Paxton, that is going to, Democrats could potentially flip that seat. When we're looking at other states like Alaska, that's another state where you have Peltola doing really well against Sullivan, who's the incumbent. He's the Republican. And so will Peltola get an advantage over Sullivan as a result of young voters not showing up, or young voters voting for Peltola? We can look at other states like North Carolina. North Carolina, already it looks like a Democrat will be able to win there. Governor Cooper is doing very good in the polling in North Carolina. It looks like he's going to be able to win that Senate seat. Then we move up to Maine. We have Plattner. Plattner is also doing well. Collins is struggling. She's the Republican. And so when we start moving around and looking at these different states, we can see that Democrats might be able to flip some of these seats just as a result of the president's job approval and the younger voter. When we take a look at the House, we're using 270 to win here. And so if you look at Democrats are at 220, Republicans are at 203. Now, Democrats only need 218 to take back control of the House. And so when we're looking at this, all the blue here, so you have the 164, the 34, the 19, the 3, that's all on the Democratic side. So that's solid, likely, lean, all of that. When we're looking on the Republican side, so you have the 96, the 64, the 35, the 8, that's all on the Republican side. And then in the middle here, you have 12. The 12, those are toss-up seats. And so what this is showing us that if we don't even factor in the toss-ups right now, and we just look at what Democrats are, they have the advantage, where they have the advantage, they could pick up 220 seats and take back control of the House just with that, not even factoring in the toss-ups. Now, of course, the toss-ups are going to go one way or the other. Democrats can pick up even more seats if they can win some of those toss-ups. And so looking at the prediction market is showing us that Democrats are likely going to take back control of the House. And so as we're looking at all the different polls that are out there right now, we're looking at voter sentiment and how, these young voters 30 and under, how they feel. We're looking at independents that supported Trump. There, you have those numbers are changing too, where they don't support Trump anymore. You have some Democrats that are more energized now to get out and vote. Some people who didn't participate in the 2024 presidential election, they now want to participate because they think that President Trump doesn't have there's no checks and balances. President Trump is doing whatever he wants because Republicans are controlling the House, Republicans are controlling the Senate, and now you have some voters that are saying we need to have some check on the president. We can't allow the president just to do whatever they want to do. And so as we move closer and closer to this midterm election, we're seeing a change. We are seeing voters change their minds. And what are we going to see in the midterm election as a result of these voters changing their minds? But now I want to pass it off to you. What do you think about voter sentiment? What do you think about the 30 and unders? Do you think they're going to actually vote for Democrats? Do you think they're just going to sit out? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.